Hello everyone, welcome back again to Keeping Up with Ned Nwoko and Regina Daniels' family. How are you guys doing? And I hope you are following this story as it's been unfolding. And if you really want to catch up with the story from the beginning, I might not have been able to capture everything, but I think I've been able to capture almost everything that's been happening to the best of my knowledge. And there's a playlist here that I've tagged so that you can find all of the Nwoko's family video. You can find them there. And with that being said, let's dive into this talk. So what is the talk? I believe it's no news now that Ned Daniels' brother Sammy has been released, and upon his release there's also a report which I shared in my previous video that the NDLEA have written a petition or a letter to say that they should release Sammy to them so they could carry out their own investigation. I'll put that post here if I find it. So it's as if once Sammy is being released, I would imagine they will allow him go home and see his family, and then they will invite him as normal and then to carry out their own investigation. I won't suppose that they will just grab him from after he was being bailed from the court and then to the EFCC, to the NDLEA. So guys, let me know your thoughts and opinion in the comment section in regards to how that works. With that being said, I'm sure it's no longer news now that Omoyele Sowore actually contributed to how Regina Daniels' brother was released. It's no longer news as to how Regina Daniels' brother Sammy was released and granted bail. So which means that Omoyele Sowore don't put leg for the same trouser as Ned Nwoko. And yes, yesterday we did saw a couple of updates from Omoyele Sowore. Omoyele Sowore was able to help us find that Ned Nwoko is still actually a registered lawyer in the UK. So I don't know about the news of him having been debarred in the UK. Swizzy's Regina Daniels' brother was telling us in his rant that Ned Nwoko was no longer a practicing lawyer, but when from the information that Omoyele Sowore shared yesterday, it showed that Ned Nwoko actually just renewed his practicing license in the UK. He renewed it on the 8th of this month. So in my own opinion, I think he is still able to practice in the UK. It might just not belong to a firm. It might not have his own firm. It might not have a functional firm. But what it means is that if he comes into the UK in the next 10 years and he wants to practice as a lawyer in the UK, he will be able to do so, because I think in the case, the way it works is just like nurses. If you want to remain on the nursing registry, if you want to remain with the NMC registrar, you need to keep renewing your license. If you don't renew, you won't be able to practice. But I think for him, he's renewing his license, which means that anytime he decides to come back into the UK, he will be able to renew his license, which means that Swizzy needs to be very, very careful, because if he's still able to practice in the UK, he can pull his strings in the UK for them to go and grab Swizzy. Me, I'm just thinking, oh, that is not what is happening. Anyway, like I said, Omoyele Sowore has now put his leg in the same trouser as Ned Nwoko in this fight for Regina Daniels. So I'm going to screenshot the post that Omoyele Sowore posted about an hour ago. And yes, don't mind my gele, because like I told you guys, I don't want to lose my edges. And yes, this is evidence of Sheshede from Nigeria, right? So let's go into what Omoyele Sowore had to write on his Instagram, on his Facebook page. And yes, I'm going to screenshot the image to show that Ned Nwoko is still actually very, very well registered as a lawyer in the UK. So I don't know where the story of him being debarred as a lawyer in the UK is coming from, but then I'm going to actually keep my eyes on Kuti Juice, because Kuti Juice is cooking something. That page, he or she is definitely cooking up something. Anyway, let's dive into what Omoyele Sowore had to say. So Omoyele Sowore said, "Stop Senator Prince Ned Nwoko's abuse of power and criminal manipulation of state institutions, while we continue working to secure the freedom of Samuel Ojuegbu, Sammy West, who has been unjustly detained through the influence of crooked All Progressive Congress." No be me talk amo, or no be me talk amo. Now Omoyele talk say crooked APC people. No be me talk, and Omoyele talk am. Crooked Senator Prince Ned Nwoko. It is important to alert the public to the senator's ongoing schemes and abuses of power. And I think his abuse of power is glaring to see. Like, somebody, he did not buy anybody, he did not cause him any harm. Why treat Sammy West the way he did? And I've always said it from the beginning that this is a blatant abuse of power. It should not be allowed to go that way. So he continued, reliable information indicates that Senator Nwoko has deployed substantial funds to elements within within the Nigerian police force in order to target and intimidate members of the estranged wife, Regina Daniels' family and friends. See, when I tell you that, you can't even trust Nigerian police. A little fraction of them, they are good, but in my own opinion, don't. I won't say too much because I still want to be able to enter Nigeria. Acting through corrupt police officials and in some instances attempting to draw in the NDLEA, he has sought to expand a web of harassment and unlawful arrest. So Omoyele Sowore just actually confirmed from this statement that yes, the NDLEA are definitely wanting to have a word with Sammy West. So Senator Prince Ned Nwoko allegedly pressured Nigeria police force officers earlier today to block Sammy West's bail, and even attempted to procure the arrest of Regina Daniels' friend and mother Rita under false claims that they were supplying her with drugs. Equally disturbing are credible reports that he illegally intercepted and monitored Regina Daniels' private WhatsApp communications. Wow, so Baba is monitoring her communications, monitoring her phones and everything. Upon say she rejected you, so say she don't want to do again. Anyway, he continues paying large sums to police operatives to track her calls and messages. You know what? I don't know. Instances like this in the diaspora is a crime. You can't intercept people's messages and stuff like that without their consent. I don't know how it is in Nigeria, but obviously this crime is happening in Nigeria. I don't know what kind of laws is available. If this is happening in a home where somebody is checking your messages, checking your calls without your consent, you can actually file a police report against that person. But I don't know how it is in Nigeria. So it continued. Over 250 of such WhatsApp messages were submitted to implicate Regina Daniels' close circle that he alleged were supplying her hard drugs. Oh wow! So it was because of his access to Regina Daniels' phone. That was how he was able to get communications of the dealings of Regina Daniels' phone. So those of you that's always saying that you should check your partner's phone, how market. You know what? There's pros and cons to this checking of your partner's phone and not checking their phones. Guys, let me know what you think about that. Do you actually think that it makes sense that your partner is checking your phone and your messages without your consent? Because for me, it's not something I'm going to agree to. It's not something I do, and I don't think I will ever do. But leave your thoughts and opinion in the comment section. So let's move on. In addition, Nwoko is said to have sponsored the fabrication of medical reports from Nizamiye Hospital in Abuja and another private facility in Abuja in a desperate bid to criminalize Regina Daniels and those close to her. Auntie Kem, come out here. Shebi, you said Ned Nwoko showed me something. The name was not blood. The name was blood. The date, I saw the toxicology report and I asked, how certain are you that the report you were showed belonged to Regina Daniels? So now this is a third party now that is coming out to tell us exactly what that medical report is all about. So Auntie Kem, I am going to continue to press your neck. So you guys I'm going to read that part again. In addition, Nwoko is said to have sponsored the fabrication of medical reports from Nizamiye Hospital in Abuja and another private facility in Abuja in a desperate bid to criminalize Regina Daniels and those close to her. So he's gone in a way to get all of this information so that when he now came out to label Regina Daniels as a drug user, it will tarnish our chances of trying to get our children back. Guys, can you see what this uncle is trying to do? Can you see what our Prince Charming is trying to do? Let me keep reading. These actions amount to a grave abuse of state power and violation of fundamental rights. The public must understand that the true criminal here is Ned Nwoko himself, a man who married a minor. Now, there's been lots of debate about, oh, he married her at 17, he married her at 19, he married her at 21. There's a lot of debate, and I think it's only Regina Daniels' mom and dad that can actually come to the public and tell us exactly when Regina Daniels was born. If there's a birth certificate, let them come out with that legit birth certificate, because this argument of she was 17, she was 19, she was 21, we need to put it to rest. And even at that, look at the age gap between Ned Nwoko and Regina Daniels, for goodness sake. Like, what are people talking about? So are you saying to, because I was on Stella the Mokoko's live stream earlier on and people were like, oh, she was talking too much, she was talking too much. He married a child, he married a young lady, regardless of 1921. Regina Daniels herself came out here and told us that she was 17. there's nothing like 17 and a half months. It is when you are exactly the age you're supposed to. So if you have 3 months before you turn 18, they will still tell you are 17. It is when you exactly turn that 18 that people will say, oh yes, you are 18. So based on what Regina Daniels told us, she was married to him at 17. And there was a post from Kuti Juice that Regina Daniels got married to Ned Nwoko at 17 years old, 5 months. So there's people that are saying, oh, she was talking too much, she did this, that, she did it. What do you expect? He married somebody whose frontal lobe is not even fully developed. What are some people freaking talking about? And even if at that, as a parent, would you allow your child, either 17 or 19 or 21 to marry a man who took over, there's over 40 years age gap between them? And it is not just a single man, a man who already had 4 other wives. Like, what are you freaking talking about? Anyway, let's keep reading this article by, obviously, this post by Omoyele Sowore. So, Omoyele Sowore continues saying that these actions amount to a grave abuse of state power and violation of fundamental rights. The public must understand that the true criminal here is Ned Nwoko himself, a man who married a minor, like I said, exposed her to drugs through manipulation and repeatedly violated her bodily autonomy. We call on the Nigerian leadership to immediately call the Nigerian police force, the NDLEA, and also urge the Attorney General of the Federation and relevant international human rights bodies to immediately investigate these allegations and to curtail Senator Nwoko's influence over security agencies in Nigeria. Like I said, abuse of power. Get to any political stage at all in Nigeria, then that's your chance. You can do as you like. Everybody just fire they go. Everybody does they do madness, Everybody, as long as you attain any height of power in Nigeria, everybody, they just have their own monopoly of madness. Nobody can stop them. Nobody can get them accountable for anything. Lastly, Sowore continued, no individual, no matter how wealthy or politically connected, should be allowed to weaponize law enforcement institutions for personal vendettas. Justice must prevail and Ned Nwoko must be held accountable for his crimes. So Omoyele Sowore dropped that post there, and I've not seen any news channel retweeted this post here, which I believe by the time this video drops, they probably will have started retweeting it. And like I said, if a woman, regardless of her age, regardless of her status, says she doesn't want a marriage anymore, it is not a crime. Let her go. Let her go. So now, obviously, what Omoyele Sowore has actually, what I've picked up from what Omoyele Sowore said here is that Ned Nwoko has infiltrated Regina Daniels' WhatsApp messages, which was how he was able to get all of her communications with people she has been dealing with. Either she alleged she used or she did not use, or he was able to get into her messages. And also the toxicology report that Kemi Olunloyo has been saying that, oh, Ned Nwoko showed me, because I'm a journalist, he covered the name, and I saw the toxicology report, and I've always queried that idea that, okay, how certain are you that that toxicology report belongs to Regina? What if it belongs to somebody else? Now Omoyele Sowore is actually saying to her that those were fabricated. Guys, let me know your thought and opinion in based on what Omoyele Sowore has said. And you guys remember how Omoyele Sowore dealt with Wike, how he went into all the resources that Wike was, using all of our money in Nigeria to go and spend in the US to go and buy houses. The way that Omoyele Sowore has now stepped his leg in the same shokoto with Ned Nwoko, I think it would be better if Ned Nwoko actually refrain from trying to do anything backdoor and face things squarely, do things the way they are. I was watching a guy, his name is something Agbaje. He was talking about how to obviously dissolute a marriage. That if you are a Muslim, if you want that, obviously there are different types of marriage. There's customary, there's tradition, there's Christian, blah blah blah. That if you're a Muslim, you just need to tell the lady 3 times that I don't want to marry you anymore, and that's it. As a Christian, if you got married in a church, you need to go through the right channel in the court to dissolve your marriage. If it is a traditional marriage or customary, if it's a customary marriage, you just need to go to your people, and some they just take the bride price, some they do some little bit of exchange of goods and stuff like that. I'll pop that video here so you listen to the guy. So you guys,
a 19-year-old lady gets married to a 54-year-old billionaire for love. This is the unfolding story of Red Lioness versus Ipa. Lioness at many times has claimed that she would rather cry in a Ferrari than dance and laugh in Kekemala or tricycle. Push has come to show Ferrari has broken down the express. Lioness says, I want out of this marriage with Epa because Epa beats me domestic violence. Epa replied, said, no, that's not true. I have not cared for you and even cared for your family members to the tune of millions. And I have only tried to make him go back to the rehabilitation center because you have been abusing drug. Lioness says, no, you are a liar. You are the one that introduced me to drug as a matter of fact. For us to struggle as a couple, I have to be eye for your pleasure. And now, Lioness now says, you even slept with me and married me when I was 17. You took my prime. No amount of money you spent can take that from me. What does the law say? Domestic violence. If Lioness has a proof of this, can you approach the courts? Anybody who causes grievous harm to another person commits a felony, 7 years imprisonment, 2 portions of that, section 335 of the criminal code. However, if this turns out to be a lie, a case of defamation, I wait Lioness and others. The solution of marriage, types of valid marriage and how to dissolve them. Customary or traditional marriage. Some custom permit you to simply refund the bride price and let my people go. Don't argue with me. Consult your lawyer. Islamic marriage, under some schools of thought, you simply have to tell your wife, I divorce you 3 times, and everybody will bear their father's name. Marriage under the act, that is the one at the registry or licensed place of worship, simply institute a proceeding at the state high court. Child marriage, the only way to prove the age of the person under the law is through the birth certificate, if not available, testimony of the parent, etc. Drug abuse is not a defense. In fact, it's a crime, and it can enter as an own goal in child custody battle. Lest I forget, Lioness has claimed that during maritime transport, sometimes a part forces himself on her. Can husband wife? Can wife husband? This topic again, fundamental health.
So you guys heard him there as to how marriages can be dissolved. I think in this regard, said Ned Nwoko should just choose any of the one he did with Regina Daniels. I think it was the traditional one he did with her. Let him collect his bride price. If it is now, if na kola nut and sheep and goat that he carries to Regina Daniels' family, let Regina Daniels' family return those stuff back to him, and he should let this girl go. She's still young. She can rebuild her life back again. He should let her go. With that being said, I thought I would bring this update to let you know that Omoyele Sowore is now also in this fight. Beside Regina Daniels against Ned Nwoko. Guys, let me know what you think in all of this. Do you think this case is going to be investigated, or it's just going to carry on like a saga, just like we've been saying it? Or do you think now that Omoyele Sowore is actually forming partnership with Regina Daniels and her family, that hopefully this will come to resolution? Let me know all your thoughts and opinions in the comment section. And if you've watched it now, you've not yet subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Don't forget to like, drop a comment in the comment section, subscribe if you've not yet done so, turn on your post notification, share this video. You do not stay to join my membership, and I shall be back with another episode of Keeping Up with Ned Nwoko and Regina Daniels' family. Thank you. Peace out.
Make him look red like a tomato. If him not dead, then he come out us. No.